My
This
solo
morning,
trip to South Africa. Wait a minute. My solo trip to South Africa. Okay, so where are you from? That's the question.
leopard dropped a dead antelope out of a tree onto the ground next to me, and now I am splattered with antelope blood. Welcome to South Africa.
Should I put some music? My solo trip to South Africa. I just feel like penguins are cool, bro. Like, I've never seen penguins attacking humans and stuff like that. Do penguins make like good pets? I wanna buy a penguin. How much is it? I feel like penguins.
Good morning from Cape Town.
Of
After
course. Of course, it's gonna be from Cape Town. I feel like I knew
a
it.
couple of weeks exploring in Namibia, which was amazing. If you didn't see that video, I'll have it linked up here or down below. I've flown to South Africa to spend a week exploring here. I'm spending a few days in Cape Town, and then I'm going to be flying to the Kruger National Park area to visit Sabi Sands, which I will talk about more when I get there. I'm staying on the waterfront here in Cape Town, and to be honest, my first impression is that it reminds me of San Francisco. This morning when I woke up, there was this foggy, low marine layer, and there's lots of shops and restaurants. I have an incredible view from this room, which I was not expecting. Lots of shops and restaurants.
Cape Union Mart. Is that the shop that sells KOA? Sick, bro.
I have an incredible view from this room, which I was not expecting.
That's the best view. It's like okay, you know, it's not okay. It's like okay.
And I'm super happy with my choice to stay in this area. So the first thing I have planned here in Cape Town is a private tour. I thought about renting a car, but they drive on the left side of the road here, and that made me a little nervous. So I've hired a private guide for half a day to take me down to Simonstown, where the Boulders Penguin Colony is, and down to the Cape of Good Hope. The Boulders Penguin Colony has a pretty incredible origin story because this colony started in 1982 with just 2 breeding pairs. Today it consists of around 3,000 birds, and they're
How do they know? How do they know?
under the protection of the Cape Nature Conservation because the species is on the verge of extinction.
Wait, are penguins birds? Penguins bed? Because I swear to God, I think I heard her saying penguins are bed. Let me Google it. Are penguins birds? Yeah. Penguins are seabirds. I didn't know there's such thing called seabirds, bro. I thought birds can fly, but they can't fly. Why are they called seabirds? It's fish. Falls under fish. Are birds classified as birds? There are other birds that can't fly. Oh, like chickens. Chickens can't fly, right? Technically can kinda maybe not fly. It's similar, but it's like that was like birds, right? Yeah, it makes sense. But I didn't know there's such thing called seabirds. Seabirds?
After spending some time with the penguins, we drove down toward the Cape of Good Hope, which is the very tip of the peninsula. If you come to Cape Town, you have to do this drive, and you'll probably see some ostriches along the way.
The most southern place of Africa. That's dope.
Then heading back toward Cape Town, we drove the
Wait,
famous...
is this video gonna be about B-roll? Oh no. Yeah, we know this. Table Mountain, we know it. What else?
area. Sabi Sands is a privately owned game reserve in the Kruger National Park area of South Africa, and its Sands is a
Wait,
privately owned.
is this the map? Wait.
So much to tell you about this area. Sabi
Mpumalanga is around here, right? What is this place? What is here, bro? You know, all along I thought the Mpumalanga had a beach. Clearly not.
Sabi Sands is a privately owned game reserve in the Kruger National Park area of South Africa, and it's considered by some to be the best place in the world to spot the big five, which is lion, leopard, rhino, elephant, and buffalo. And the unique thing about Sabi Sands is it shares an unfenced border with Kruger National Park, so you get all of the wildlife of Kruger flowing freely in and out of this land. But because this is a private reserve, it doesn't have some of the rules that Kruger does. And I talked about this a little bit in my Namibia video, the difference between a private game reserve and a national park. In national parks, you can't enter until after sunrise and the gates close at sunset, so you miss out on all of that animal activity really early in the day and heading into the evening. You also have to stick to designated roads in a national park, which means you're limited to what is visible from the big roads, and elusive animals like leopards don't.
Duh. So you don't die. Why is she talking like it's bad news? It's not bad news, it's good news. The reason why you must stick to the road is that you don't die. Because I know white people are very curious. They'll get out of the car, try and see where the fuck is the lion, and Jiggy Jiggy you have, what is that movie? What is that movie? It was what is it? What is that guy's name? Idris Alba, and he was with his daughter and they got attacked by the lion. Whatever that movie is, Jiggy Jiggy you have that movie. There's this other movie me and my family used to love. It was we used to call it Bomalum. It was this movie about lions. It's crazy. I don't even want to explain it, but yeah.
Don't tend to hang out next to the road. Where on a private reserve, you can drive any time of day. You can stay out at night hunting with the lions if you want.
Fuck no.
You can
Fuck no. I ain't going out at night, bro.
also drive anywhere on the reserve, so you don't have to stick to a certain road. Also, the only way to get into a reserve is to stay at a lodge there and drive with their guides. So you're not going to be dealing with crowds, which isn't to say that national parks are a bad idea. I had a fantastic time at Etosha in Namibia. I actually think the best thing to do would be to do both if you have the time in your trip. So I'm going on game drives for the next few days in the mornings and afternoons, and I'm excited to see what we find. Sabi Sands has a reputation for big cats, especially leopards, which is part of why I came here. Leopards are notoriously elusive animals that can be really tricky to find and get close to, but Sabi Sands fulfilled all of my leopard dreams. We spent a morning tracking a mother and her older male cub through the bush. These animals are so beautiful, and they weren't bothered by us either. They walked right up next to our vehicle multiple times. The only time they actually looked at me was right here as I was getting this shot, and I was silently losing it. I mean, look at that. And it's incredible how quickly they move. They never seemed to stop for more than a few moments before continuing on their way. I can see why it's so hard to spot them. So I just had probably my craziest.
What am I missing about? Elephants and what? Nah, I don't care about elephants. The lodge? Should we check out the lodge? Just check it out, bro. Let's check out the
Is in
God.
Sabi Sands before deciding on this one. And honestly,
This
they
is
all
sick.
looked phenomenal. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them, but the room here is what really sold me on this one, because I have this enormous deck with a plunge pool and lounge.
I know this sounds cool, right? I know it looks cool. Now, think about the mosquitoes here. Just think how many fucking mosquitoes are here, bro. I can't. Jesus Christ.
loungers overlooking the landscape. It is what you dream of when you think of going on an African safari. The property is beautiful, the service has been phenomenal, and it's all inclusive. So you get a morning and afternoon drive with a guide every day, all of your meals. This is not sponsored, by the way. It might be my new best place I've ever stayed.
So how much is it? Isn't it sad that people come from across other countries to see places in South Africa we South Africans we haven't seen before yet? Sad.
My final afternoon game drive was one of the most exciting of the entire trip. We went out in the afternoon looking for lions and found a pride napping. Lions are kind of funny that when they're sleepy, you can pull up right beside them and they do not care. And the reason we can get so close to all of this wildlife is they see the vehicle and everyone in it as one thing. So they don't see us as individual beings and don't see us as something they could attack. So we sat with these lions and hung out.
Really? Did they tell you that? Did the lions tell you that? You know, I hate this kind of claims. I hate this kind of bullshit. Or you could have just said, well, these lions are used to human beings. They don't feel threatened when they see humans and stuff like that. That would have made more sense. This lion seeing me and the car is one thing. You know what I also hate? That saying that they like to say, they say, actually sharks don't like biting people. So they make a mistake, they think you're a fish, and then they bite your leg off. When they realize that you're not a fish anymore, that's why they realize, they're like, oh no, and then it's like, this kind of claims, it's fucking hell, bro. No, did they tell you that? Did sharks tell you that they don't like to eat humans? Or did lions tell you that they see you as a car? Come on, guys.
Out for a while, all the way until sunset, and then just after the sun went down, they got up and started moving into the thickets. And again, this is one of the reasons it's so exciting to be able to stay out after sunset with these animals. So we drove with them all the way into these really thick bushes and found that a couple of lions from the pride had just killed a warthog. There was this lioness with this chunk she was carrying around, so we followed her and watched her eat it. And you know how sometimes at night the sky is so gradually getting dark that you don't really notice it until all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's completely black out here. When the lioness was done eating her chunk of warthog, the guide turned all of the vehicle lights off, and that's when I had the realization that I was sitting in a completely open vehicle in complete darkness.
You know how crazy this is? That is crazy,
Surrounded
but
by
I would do it.
It was thrilling. It was still totally safe, but wow, what an adrenaline rush. Not enough.
My experience in South Africa. Let's hear. If she's not gonna complain about load shedding, then she's fucking lying.
Try to come for 2 weeks at least. This country is so beautiful and it should absolutely be on your travel list if it's not there already. If you are thinking of planning a trip here, one of the biggest questions I was asked by all of you on social media and my family and friends and even locals while I was here in South Africa is, how do I feel about traveling alone here?
No,
South Africa has been on my travel list for a while, but I never thought I would come here solo. I always planned to come on a tour. But then I signed up for this Namibia tour, and Namibia borders South Africa, and I couldn't bear to come all this way and not see South Africa too. So that's how I ended up here by myself. The reason I never planned on this being a solo trip, and I think the reason I received so many questions about this being a solo trip, is South Africa does have some safety concerns.
Oh,
and
really?
Speaking to people I know who've lived here or who are from here or locals while I've been here, everyone's had the same sentiment of, you've got to be careful. Not so much at nice private lodges like this, but in the city. I had a great time. This was definitely a successful solo trip for me. If you feel hesitant about coming here by yourself or you don't have a lot of travel experience in places where you would have to be more cautious, I would recommend coming on a tour. And honestly, you get so much out of tours, though I think a tour would also be super awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me on this one, and I will see you next time.
Alright, great.
Bye.
No, like, dope video, right? It's a cool video. That was a dope one. Fuck. Should I watch another one? I feel tired, bro. I feel tired. Let me watch the last one. Or let's watch something stupid. Let's watch something stupid to cover.